This is in no way my attempt to justify my comic book obsession. And this story, I really, really like. Artwork, the storytelling. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Pull List. My name is Travis and let's talk about the Justice League. For those of you who have watched Monday and Tuesday's video, you know why I'm wearing this shirt. Still. It's still Monday. I feel like it goes without saying, but there will be spoilers for the Justice League in this video, so if you've not watched the Justice League yet, don't watch this video any farther. Now I first want to say I didn't hate the Justice League film. It was slightly better than I thought it was going to be. However, that is not saying much at all. I had incredibly low expectations going in. It was a film about a team constructed of characters who half of them we had never met before. I'm glad the film grazed over the origin stories of all of these new characters, but even still, it was incredibly two-dimensional. It was a very cardboard cutout plot. There's an alien threat. We must band together as a team, but we're going to bicker and then we're going to get beaten and then we're going to join back together as a team even stronger than before and then we're going to beat the baddie back. The end credit scene. The villain of Steppenwolf was so unbelievably bland and boring and the CGI was nothing to get excited about. Its opening weekend numbers didn't pan out too well either. It underperformed under the underperformance numbers, which is not good. It made less than $95 million domestically, which is the worst domestic film opening of any DC film in the past 5 years. To give you a sense of scale, Avengers made $207 million domestically its opening weekend, and in 19 days it made over $1 billion worldwide. DC needed the Justice League to open up at more than $110 million for it to be any sort of good news for the studio, and it wasn't. A few years ago I did a video on why I felt the Justice League film was going to bomb, and the numbers speak for themselves. Though that's not to say that I hated the film. There were a few things that I did enjoy about going to see this movie. But Batman was not one of them, unfortunately. I enjoyed the BVS Batman over the Justice League Batman. What is wrong with that situation? I don't know if it's because I can tell that Affleck doesn't really want to play Batman anymore, but the fight scenes in Batman v Superman were so much more entertaining than in Justice League. Speaking of Batman v Superman, the Justice League is a little more fun to watch overall. Justice League was less gritty, it had a little bit more humor, the banter between characters was kind of fun when it wasn't super cheesy. I even laughed out loud a couple times. Also, the way that Superman's suit looks a lot brighter. That was a nice touch. And I don't know if it's because he was brought back from the dead and he appreciates life more, but he just seemed a little more cheerful and upbeat, and he was able to make jokes. And for not having origin films before this, Flash and Aquaman were both pretty great, even though some of their lines were eye-rollingly cliche. And as I assumed she would be and hoped that she would be, Wonder Woman was a definite standout. I don't know if it's because they went back and added more Wonder Woman scenes, but good. That was great. Maybe the Flashpoint story will actually happen and change some things around in the DCEU, as they brought up Barry's mother multiple times in this film, so maybe he's gonna go back and change some things and come back, and then Ben Affleck won't be Batman anymore. That'll be like a logical way for him to bow out of the role and have somebody else take up the mantle or the cowl. Hopefully the dark, gritty DCEU is dead and they can use Flashpoint to breathe some life into these characters, make them a little more upbeat, because DC, we don't want gritty. We don't want super gritty. We get that Gotham is gritty, but not every movie in the DCEU needs to be gritty. And I hope that these numbers send you that message. In the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the Justice League and the characters within. The only character that I didn't really talk about in this video was Cyborg, and that's because I'm still thinking. He was just very standoffish, and I know that he was afraid because of the changes that his mechanical body went through and all that, and he saw himself as a monster, sort of. He saw his dad as a monster. It was this whole big complicated thing, but maybe the machine part of him was the part that was making him kind of cold, because he did make a few jokes with Flash. There was some fun little banter right there, but I think I'm gonna have to go see the Justice League again in order to further solidify an opinion on Cyborg. I think the actor did a pretty decent job, but as a character in that story, I sort of wish that we would have had a little more to go on. That's it for this episode of The Pull List. My name is Travis. Thank you for fueling my comic book obsession, and you will see me tomorrow.